Sharina Hudson didn't just leak those vacation photos to the press to force a divorce. According to explosive claims circulating around the situation, Sharina Hudson allegedly discovered that Kevin Hunter was slowly poisoning Wendy Williams just enough to keep her working. And now that Wendy Williams is potentially stepping back into the daytime television spotlight, the exact timeline of that alleged poisoning is the only thing standing between Wendy and total financial ruin.
Kelvin fashion, he didn't keep his word on that. He'd rather spend that money on his side chick. Bought her a Ferrari as a push present, but that car, according to the Daily Mail, got repossessed the day after Wendy announced the divorce. You know you can't afford those type of toys, Kev.
Today, we are tearing apart the $250 million lawsuit, the repossessed Ferrari, and the bizarre connection to Charlemagne the God to uncover why Kevin Hunter is desperately trying to crawl back into Wendy Williams' life and why Sharina Hudson is suddenly doing everything in her power to stop him. On the surface, the story of Wendy Williams' downfall is a tragic tale of addiction. But when you look at the exact dates, the missing money, and the specific players involved, the surface story starts to crumble. In 2019, Wendy Williams walked onto her daytime stage and addressed the rumors head-on. Pointing directly at her wedding ring, Wendy looked into the camera and told her audience, "I am still very much in love with my husband. Don't ask me about mine until you see this gone." But behind that ring was a decade of alleged deception.
A shout out to my husband. I'm still wearing my ring. He's my best friend, he's my lover, he's all this and he's all that. I know what you've been seeing, and I knew what the streets have been talking about.
Wendy set the record straight on reports that her husband, Kevin Hunter, allegedly had a years-long affair with a massage therapist.
I am still very much in love with my husband, and anybody who's been married for 5 minutes or 500 years, you know, marriages have ebbs and flows. Marriages are not easy. Don't ask me about mine until you see this gone, and it ain't going anywhere.
Kevin Hunter wasn't just Wendy Williams' husband. Kevin Hunter was Wendy Williams' manager. And during that time, Kevin Hunter was maintaining a secret second life with a woman named Sharina Hudson. According to reports, Sharina Hudson was introduced to Kevin Hunter by Charlemagne the God back when Wendy and Charlemagne were still working together on radio. From there, Kevin Hunter set Sharina Hudson up in a fully paid house, bought her jewelry, and funded her dream of becoming a chef with food trucks. All of it allegedly paid for by Wendy Williams. But why did it take Wendy Williams over 10 years to notice millions of dollars missing from her own accounts? Because things don't add up. Kevin Hunter didn't just hide the affair. Kevin Hunter allegedly built a legal fortress around the theft. Whenever large sums of money went missing, Kevin Hunter could claim it was community property. If Wendy Williams confronted Kevin Hunter about missing belongings or cash withdrawals, reports suggest Kevin Hunter would gaslight Wendy Williams, claiming Wendy Williams had given permission while she was intoxicated and simply couldn't remember. Then came the ultimate slap in the face. In classic Kevin Hunter fashion, he bought Sharina Hudson a Ferrari as a push present for the birth of their daughter. But according to the Daily Mail, that Ferrari was repossessed the exact day after Wendy Williams announced her divorce. Wendy Williams said it best during a broadcast. "I made him my manager, and then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day."
I don't recommend that you work with your husband because I made him my manager, and then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day.
But Kevin Hunter didn't stay unemployed for long. And this is where the situation escalated into something far more sinister. When Wendy Williams finally filed for divorce, Kevin Hunter didn't just walk away. Kevin Hunter allegedly started feeding completely fabricated stories to multiple media outlets, claiming that he and Wendy Williams were working on a reconciliation. The goal was to pressure Wendy Williams into calling off the divorce so Kevin Hunter could maintain access to her accounts. Then, Wendy Williams' health visibly deteriorated on live television. Slurred speech, staggering, and sudden fainting spells led to the cancellation of the Wendy Williams show. Shortly after, Wendy Williams was placed under a highly restrictive financial and medical guardianship. The initial diagnosis claimed Wendy Williams had frontotemporal dementia. But Wendy Williams recently underwent a new medical test. That new test showed absolutely no signs of frontotemporal dementia. According to sources close to the situation, Wendy Williams was not suffering from a degenerative brain disease. Wendy Williams was severely hungover and intoxicated. Therefore, there were no medical grounds for a 3-year guardianship. Suddenly, Kevin Hunter smelled an opportunity. Kevin Hunter publicly filed a massive $250 million lawsuit against the guardianship, claiming Wendy Williams was being held against her will. Kevin Hunter petitioned the court to be appointed as Wendy Williams' next friend, a legal term meaning Kevin Hunter would gain total control over Wendy Williams' finances, her medical care, and her estate.
Wendy Williams' husband has filed a $260 million lawsuit claiming that Wendy is being held against her will in an illegal guardianship, has caused all sorts of financial and emotional damage. Problem is, he's divorced from her, and she doesn't like her much.
No, it was not a great divorce.
She didn't like him much.
And even though she's had to pay him out a whole lot of money over a lot of years, she doesn't want him a part of this. And you know this straight from the source.
Well, I know it straight from the source because before I talked to the source, meaning Wendy, it was just apparent to me. I mean, he's filing this as Kevin Hunter, her friend. I mean, when does a friend have standing to file a 200? She had no idea about this lawsuit.
Thankfully, a judge immediately shut it down, stating that a divorced ex-husband who Wendy Williams actively disliked had absolutely no standing to take over her life. But this brings us to the hidden side of the story, the part that was buried under the spectacle of the daytime breakdowns. During their decade-long affair, Kevin Hunter forced Sharina Hudson into a bizarre, compartmentalized lifestyle. According to sources, whenever Kevin Hunter and Wendy Williams went on luxury holidays, Sharina Hudson was brought along. Sharina Hudson was given her own separate bodyguard with one strict instruction: make sure Sharina Hudson and Wendy Williams never cross paths on the resort. Kevin Hunter reportedly set up a shell charity to launder money and funnel gifts to Sharina Hudson. But the darkest detail involves the pregnancies. Sharina Hudson reportedly got pregnant multiple times, and according to claims, Kevin Hunter forced her to get abortions on the doctor's table, terrified a public record would reach Wendy Williams. When Sharina Hudson finally refused to abort their daughter, she leaked a vacation photo to the press. She thought it would force a divorce so she could take Wendy's place.
She is tired of hiding the relationship, okay? She's tired of being a side bitch. She's tired of having abortions and shit like that. And she just wants Wendy out of the picture so that she can live her life out and free with her man and not have to sneak and meet Kevin in random places and shit like that, okay? And so,
but Kevin Hunter never planned to leave. Who else would fund the lifestyle? That secret nest egg he promised Sharina? It didn't exist. And that's when the most chilling allegations surfaced. As Sharina Hudson prepared to leave, she allegedly stumbled upon the truth about Wendy's declining health. Reports claim Kevin Hunter was secretly poisoning Wendy not to kill her, but just enough to keep her disoriented, compliant, and able to hit that TV stage so Kevin Hunter could keep collecting a paycheck. It got so bad that someone called the police. But when cops arrived, Kevin Hunter reportedly refused to leave Wendy's side, physically blocking officers from questioning her privately. Earlier reports of Kevin putting hands on Wendy were allegedly buried by Wendy herself to protect his image. Now, connect the timeline. Kevin needed Wendy working to fund his double life. When she got suspicious, he allegedly used chemical means to subdue her. Her erratic behavior lost her the show and triggered a guardianship. Cut off from the money, Kevin filed a $250 million lawsuit pretending to be her savior, hoping a judge would hand him the keys to her estate. The judge said no. Fast forward. Wendy's dementia diagnosis is debunked. The guardianship is crumbling. Sherry Shepherd is fired, leaving a massive daytime TV vacuum. Debmar Mercury leaves the door open for Wendy to return. Suddenly, there's big money on the table again. And Kevin Hunter is using their son to wiggle back in, pushing the narrative that Wendy needs someone she trusts to manage her comeback. But the final twist isn't about Kevin's greed. It's about Sharina Hudson's revenge. Sharina stayed quiet for a decade thinking she'd be Kevin's wife. Now she knows she was played. Sharina has officially turned on Kevin Hunter, and she's doing everything in her power to make sure he suffers, because Sharina knows exactly how the charity money moved and what was allegedly put in Wendy's drinks. If Wendy takes Kevin back, he takes the finances. If he takes the finances, Sharina loses her leverage, and Kevin buries the evidence forever. If Debmar Mercury hands Wendy that vacant time slot, the ratings will be massive. But the real test isn't whether Wendy can still read a teleprompter. It's whether she can look at the man who managed her career and finally see what Sharina Hudson already knows. Because if Wendy lets Kevin Hunter back into her circle, she won't just be making a career mistake. She'll be handing the leash right back to the man who allegedly spent 10 years holding it.